Okay. All right. First thing, just like to talk about the first 4 days. We completed our fourth day practice this morning. Very pleased with the performance of our football team so far. I really like our enthusiasm, our excitement, and our passion for the game. We've got to continue to improve in certain areas of our football team. There's emphasis on toughness, on relentless effort and execution. And I thought this morning's practice, I thought we came out a little flat at the beginning because they've had several days off for the Easter holiday weekend. And I thought we came back a little flat, but as practice went on, our enthusiasm picked up, and it ended up being a very good practice before it was over. But I like the direction that our team is going in. And I think that we're on the right track, but we've got to continue to work and continue to improve and not take anything for granted. If we're going to be a good football team, we must continue to work hard and continue to execute at a high level. We've been real basic in our teaching. And what I mean by real basic is that we haven't thrown a lot of scheme at them because we want to be great teachers and we want to execute well at the few things that we have put in. But as we move forward, we have to install more because we just can't sit in one or two or three things, but we've got to put some other things in, experiment in some things, but also know what our bread and butter is and the foundation of what we're trying to do. And that's toughness, that's having versatility and in our offense and in our defense, and also being strong in the kicking game.
All right, questions?
Coach, touching on today's practice, you mentioned the flat start, but the guys responded as the workout went on. Did any players really stand out to you today this morning practice?
I can't say that individually I saw anyone just stand out, but I thought as a team effort, I saw some really good things. I really liked the way that Ivy, he's having a good spring. He's taking command of the offense and really doing some good things. Of course, Dan Williams on the offensive side of the ball. Javancy Jones is a really good player on defense. Stacy Noble, I like the way he has stepped up, and Jamison in the secondary is really doing a great job for us also. So there are some players that are doing some really, really good things, and we just got to continue to get more of them. I think it's Demery Monroe, young cornerback, Brandon Mayton, both in the secondary have really adapted well and are doing a good job. But our whole secondary is playing really well, I think, and our receiving core and our running backs all are very, doing a good job of contributing so far.
Coach, about a third of the way through spring practice now, would you say you're on schedule with where you want to be?
I would say so. In the old saying, you can't get the cart before the horse, and so you don't want to try to do too much. But we as a staff, what we've decided is that we're going to be great teachers and teach fundamentals and effort. And, for example, on defense, if we can play gap sound defense and run to the football and play with a lot of effort and energy, if we know how to line up, if we call one or two coverages and we call one or two defenses and we have one or two blitzes and we execute those at a high level, we'll continue to improve as a football team. And so that's what we've decided to do. Then doing a lot and doing it average, but doing a little and being great at it, and that's what we've decided to do. And even on offense, that just basically a couple of running plays is what we're doing, and we got some pass scheme off of that, and each and every day, we're continuing to improve on it. So I'd say we're right on schedule. We've got punt team installed, we've got PAT field goal installed, we've got to do some more installing as far as kickoff return and different things like that.
first scrimmage coming up on Saturday. Any idea in terms of the structure and just what do you want to see out of the team there?
It's the same thing. I mean, just this execution. Now, coaches get off the field, let them play. Call a play, let them play. Let's see what they can do rather than us teaching. So what for the past 2 weeks, all of our teaching, all of our fundamental work and all the things like that. Now, take the strings off of them, call a play, and let's see who can play, in a game-type situation or simulate a game-type situation as close as we can.
Coach, you mentioned Lamonte Ivy, that he's having a great spring. What stood out to you most this spring regarding his play?
I would say the way that he has taken command and the way he has competed, which is really pleasing because as we started, like we said, competition is open, and it is, but at the same time, his experience has really shown, and and he can be really a good football player. So we need him to step up, and I think this spring so far he has stepped up.
So would you say he's leading that quarterback race?
I would say that in the competition of the quarterback competition that he's doing really well at this point.
And, I know you weren't here last year, but the tight ends were kind of an afterthought in the offense. And today at practice, they got a lot of targets, a steady amount of targets. Is that you want to see them get a lot of targets this upcoming season? Part of Coach Germany's
philosophy on offense is he likes a lot of tight ends and likes the flexibility of having tight ends, and so do I, because you can get in different formations, different sets. You can run the ball, you can pass the ball, and it can, depending on how you line tight ends up, it can create some situations for defense that makes it difficult to adjust to. So, but he likes tight ends in the offense, and I think it gives us a lot of flexibility.
How would you assess the way Romulo Shoemaker's been playing this spring out of the slot wide receiver?
I mean, he's made some plays, and he's excited about practicing and doing some things. So, as I said earlier, before we ever started spring, is that every player is going to get an opportunity to show what he can do. And so Romulo has taken his opportunity and he's stepped up his game. And so we want to play players. We're not here to find reasons for kids not to play and get on the field, but we want to find reasons for kids to play and get on the field. And so that anytime a player steps up and makes plays, then it only helps the team and it helps us move forward, and it keeps the players happy.
You had a couple days of watching him practice now. What would be probably your main strength, or your number one strength walking away this last couple?
Well, the last couple of days, I like the way we've run the football. I really do, because we've put an emphasis on that. If you can run the football, your team will be tough because it starts in the trenches. It starts on the defensive line. It starts on the offensive line. And, I've made this statement to the team this morning that if you can get 3 yards every play and you can stop them on the run from getting 3 yards every play, then you're going to be tough, and you have to establish that. And then if you're able to run the football, it opens everything else up on offense. If you're able to stop the run, you make a team one-dimensional. Now they have to throw the football, and you know what they're going to do.
I'm going to ask this question. This is for something we're going to air Sunday, but we're going to be talking with your AD, Willard Brown, about the state of Jackson State Athletics.
Sure.
Could you talk to me a little bit about the football program specifically, where you guys are, and is it the place that you would like to be when you took this job over? Is this where you envision the program to be?
Sure, I wouldn't have came if I didn't. I mean, no. I think that what I tell the kids every day is we're not making excuses for what we don't have. but we're taking what we got and we're going to maximize it to the highest level, because who cares in September 1st when we kick off, where you had a meeting and where you practice. Nobody's going to ask that question, but they're going to ask and they're going to look and see how you play and how you execute. So control the things that you can control, and we can control effort. We can control how hard we play. We can control what type of football team that we have here at Jackson State.
But it looks like the stakes have been raised just a little bit. The guys were talking about how well aligned the practice field was, and just JSU Athletics as a whole, with the basketball team doing well and whatnot. What does it mean just to be a part of a athletic program that's been successful?
Well, that's why I came to Jackson State, because the history and the tradition and all of those things go into the location and, the campus, how well kept the campus is, and the facilities of the university, and, and those type of things. And then having a chance to come to a program that has that rich history and tradition, and doing something that has been done before. I mean, if we make history here, they've won championships here before. So all we're trying to do is reestablish that history and tradition in the 21st century.
My final question is, the governor made some comments yesterday, and this is for news, regarding Jackson State having a campus here having a stadium rather on campus here, as opposed to over at Veterans Memorial where it is now. Is that something you would like to make happen here?
Well, I'll put it like this. I'm going to let the powers that be entertain those statements, and I'm going to